Welcome to training video number 4, Quikslope5 point and step removal. Today we're going to look at the multiple ways in Quikslope5 that you can remove steps and points, and also how you can restore them. To start off with, let's zoom into the area that contains the steps that we wish to remove. Now to do this, you just need to click the zoom button on the graphing toolbar to turn the zoom mode on, and then you can left click anywhere within the graph and draw a window of the area that you wish to zoom in on. And you can keep doing this until you can clearly see the steps that you wish to remove. Now the step that I wish to remove firstly is this point here. Now if I hover over that point, that brings up all the point information. If I wish to bring up the action menu for that point, I need to right click on the point. So I want to remove this step, so I select remove step, and now I have to give a description of why that step's been removed. Now let's have a look at what the graph's going to look like with the step being removed. At the moment the step's still there, and you can see that there's a step placeholder at the point of the step, and that's because I'm viewing raw data. If I was to view the shape data, the step would now be removed. So let's do that and see what it looks like. There's a couple of different ways in which to view shape data. You can toggle between raw and shape data with this button here, or you can right click on the graph and select hide steps shape data. And now we're viewing the shape data. As you can see, the graph's a lot clearer now that that step has been removed. Now if you need to revert a step point that you've previously removed, it's quite simple to do. You just need to go back into zoom mode in the graph, and then click and drag a window around the step that you wish to revert, and then zoom into where you can clearly see the step, right click on that step, and select revert step. And now you can see that the step has been reverted. So far we've shown you the manual way of removing and restoring a step in Quikslope5, but there's a more automatic way in which to do this. So first let's zoom back in on the step that we wish to remove. Now I just need to right click anywhere in the graph and select remove steps over. Now this will remove any steps in my graph that are over a particular value. So I'll set 130,000 millimeters. It's placed that step point to be removed. And if I have a look at shape data, the step is now removed. Now there's another way to remove a step when you don't need to zoom in to a particular step point. If you can already see it on the graph, just go over to the step point, hover over it, and then left click to select the point, and then up on the graphing toolbar, select remove step current point. Enter in a reason for the step being removed, and press OK. And now the second step has been removed. Now there is also a more automatic way in which to revert all the steps in the graph. Now to do this, you can right click anywhere in the graph and select revert all steps. You can also, in the graphing toolbar, select the revert all steps button. And now all the steps in the graph are reverted. Now let's move on to removing and restoring points in Quikslope5. Now you may find in your graphs, although you don't want to mark a particular point as a step, you want to mark a particular point to hide it, either because it's a spike or you just like to remove it from the graph so you can see the data that's there a little bit more clearly. Now I've already gone ahead and removed the major step in this graph, so we can view the graph and we can now mark a couple of points to be hidden. Okay, so to hide the first point, let's find one on the graph that we'd like to hide, I'm going to select this point here. Now hover over the point and then right click, and it brings up the action menu for that point. And I want to select exclude point. And now you can see that point is marked to be hidden. And you can see it in the legend box here as well. Okay, so let's mark a second point to be hidden. And I'm going to do it a different way this time. So I'll select this point here, and instead of right clicking this time, I'm going to left click to select the point, and then use the graphing toolbar, which contains the action buttons for the graph, and select exclude current point, which does the same thing as exclude point in the right action menu for that point. Now the points that have been marked to be hidden, I like to hide them on the graph so I can see the data a little bit more clearly. And there's a couple of ways in which to do this. One way is to right click on the graph and select hide marked points. And now you can see the 2 points are hidden. To have the marked points appear again, just again right click on the graph and select show all points. Now another way you can do this is up on the action menu is the toggle button where you can toggle between hide marked points and show marked points. Now if you want to remove the markers for the points to be hidden, there's a couple of ways in which you can do it. You can click on a particular point, right click and select include point, which will get rid of the marker. You can left click and then go up to the graph toolbar and the action button, include current point. Or if you were to exclude those points, and you wanted to include all the points that you had marked to be hidden, you could right click on the graph and select include all points in view. Okay, so I've loaded up a graph of a different prism to show you how to exclude multiple points at a time. Now to do this, you just need to go into zoom mode and need to zoom in onto the area so you can only see the points that you wish to exclude. So now I've zoomed in to the area that contains all the points that I wish to exclude, and I can't see any other points. Now once I have this, I need to go up to the graphing toolbar and select exclude all points in view. And now you can see that all the points I wish to be excluded are marked to be hidden. And then to hide those points, I just right click on the graph and select hide marked points. And now they're hidden. Now if I wanted to show them again, I can just right click and select show all points. Now if I want to unmark those points to be hidden, I can re-zoom into the area and then select include all points in view.